Well, hey there everyone. This video is going to serve for anybody who is just getting into target archery, similar to myself, and they have shot the whole year with their hunting bow and they're ready to upgrade to a target bow. The bow that I used this year was a Mathews Traverse. It's a 33-inch axle-to-axle hunting bow, which is quite long for a hunting bow. Now, I started off the year with the Traverse with what you see on it. So, gas strings, QAD, drop-away rest. This is the the Ultra Rest HD X. And then I did it also with a Pure 75 Montana Black Gold. And I started with an 8-inch bar on the front. So the bar that comes off the front to stabilize, I started with an 8-inch bar. But obviously, as I got into the year, I saw everybody else had those fancy long bars. So I purchased myself halfway through the year a 24-inch bee stinger bar. I ran just 2 ounces out front, and I made a Delrin cap so I could put it on the ground and rest my shoulder. I put that on the front with a Mr. Lin. You can buy these on eBay. 7-degree down kick. So if the bow's straight up and down, the bar would have a slight down kick to keep the weight a little bit lower. And then I used a back V-bar on the opposite side of the sight. And I used a 10-inch bar with 6 ounces in the back, and I put it out 1 inch away from the bow and about 1 degree away from the bow and 1.5 degrees down to give it a nice low down kick. These things were a game changer. Once I put these on my hunting bow, I did much better. Now, I'm upgrading. I'm changing what I'm going to do for next year, and I'm probably going to use the bow that I bought for 3D. And if you read the statement on top of the video, you'd know I bought a Mathews TRX 8 40-inch axle-to-axle competition bow. I got it used from archerytalk.com, and I also bought some other components from archerytalk.com used, and I bought some other things as well so I can get into the target archery scene and use it for 3D. We couldn't get away without putting my baby girl back together. This will be ready for hunting season. Turkey's coming up. It's ready for deer season. I have done a lot of work making sure my sight tape is in line. Shot out to 100 yards, put some good groups together. Luckily, this thing is still shooting perfect. So let's get into what I got for the target bow. First and foremost, let's start with what I already had. This 24-inch bar we talked about, I believe this was about $90. It was on sale, I think 15% off from LancasterArchery.com. It's still on sale right now for 15% off. All the competitor bee stinger bars are on sale right now. I don't know why. I bought another bee stinger competitor to match for the back. This bar is going to be 12 inches long, which is 2 inches longer than the 10 inches, to offer me a little more weight in the back. I do feel like having a little more back weight allows my bow to stay as level as possible with those ups and downs as I'm aiming. I do wish I bought the 12-inch bar for the target bow or for the hunting bow, but now that I have the option, I can keep the 10-inch bar on the hunting bow. I can put the 12-inch bar on the target bow, and we're good to go. I just keep these with my new bow, and we're going to talk more about weights again in a second with this. How am I going to hold those on there? So again, I talked about this a second ago, but the Mr. Lin setup, you can see here, they are a front and a back. Now, they come to you set up to be one piece like this. You can bolt them together so they can be on the front. There are different classes and things like that that you might want to do where you'd want to have them connected. I'm obviously at this point moving into the open class where I would want my front bar separated from my back bar on opposite sides of the riser, front and back. That's what I'm going to do. The next thing I got, I did not buy this used. I bought the Hamskea Hybrid Target Pro drop-away rest. Now, a lot of guys and girls are using the Trinity. It's a very nice target sight, but I went with the other one, which is the Hybrid Target Pro. This Hamskea drop-away rest is a hybrid because you can use it in either the upright position and it stays there, or you can make it drop away. There's a lot of adjustment that we have to play with in order to get it to drop right, or if you want to sit it so it stays upright, that's fine. But you can see here it's going to be a limb-driven drop-away rest. So we're going to figure that out together. This will be the first limb-driven drop-away rest I use. Mine typically go to the cables, so this is going to be a learning experience for me. But I love this. It's well built. It's robust. I could have had it engraved here, but we're not that fancy yet. So we're going to get that put in. I paid full price for this. I thought it was a great product, and I don't mind paying full price for a great product. This Hamskea Target Pro will cost you 160 bucks roughly. You can get it cheaper, I found out the other day, unfortunately, on Optics Planet, which is surprising. If you dig, you can get them for about 140 bucks new. Used, people are selling them used on Archery Talk still for 130 bucks. So I just bought it full price. It's worth it. I think this is a quality rest, and in my opinion, probably just as good as the Trinity, but we'll see. Here's the other used part. Big component, other than the bow, which we'll look at in a few minutes, is the sight and scope. Now, I have no idea about sights and scopes when it comes to target archery. What I do know is what looks cool, and I also know what people are using, because I've seen a lot of these target archers using these sights. So what I got is a fully built sight off of Archery Talk from a guy for 350 bucks, shipped to my door. A Sherlock One sight from here back is all one piece. This attachment is the Zebro's Evolution light. It's the newest one, which runs you new about $150, I believe. The sight runs you new almost $300, maybe a little more than that. And then on the front, I have a Shrewd scope with a 4x lens, a sunshade, and then on the back here, you'll notice you can add these rings with the white circles. This is going to be probably the most expensive part of the bow that you're going to buy, other than the actual bow. Another cool thing about this sight is that there's a brass button right here. This brass button allows for large macro movement of the sight. So when I press this button in, I can slide it really far, really fast. So I don't have to click this for 85 years to get it to move 10 yards. So a lot of adjustment here. We're not gonna go crazy with this adjustment, but we will show you how to set your first, second, third axis on your bow. So at least the sight is level and ready for you to start building sight tapes. All right, the bow. 2018 Mathews TRX 8. 8-inch brace height, 40-inch axle to axle. Let's take a peek. Wait a second, I almost forgot the weights. So typically you can get 3, 1, 2, 3 stainless steel weights with like a short bar, like a hunting bar from Bee Stinger. And you can buy them like 3 at a time, 1 at a time, typically for like 20 bucks. But if you have a friend named Kevin who's a millwright, you can get free weights. So I was able to acquire some brass weights, a whole stack of brass weights. This is 3, 6, 9, 12 ounces plus my other 3. That gives me 15 ounces of weight to work with, plus a whole nother gang of weights that I've saved. So I have 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 ounces to work with. Yeah, continuity, I know. Had some camera issues, but wanted to show you it. This is it. This is the Mathews TRX 8. This is from 2018. You'll see here it's got a number 8 on the riser, indicating that it's an 8-inch brace height, which is the height from this throat to the string. It came with 2 grips. One, it's a 3D printed Jesse Broadwater style target grip, and it came with the original Mathews grip, which was stippled, which is kind of nice. We'll try both of them, but right now I put the Broadwater grip. The only issues that I see with the whole bow are a couple of issues where components were added on. He was nice enough to give me a little piece of string so I could put my Peep Sight in. All of the servings look good. It is a set of gas strings, which are the same strings that I have on my other bow, so pretty excited. So the first thing we're going to do together is we're going to get the rest on there, get the rest timed to the limbs. Then we'll do a D-loop, and we'll level the arrow, and we'll go from there. So let's get it started. We're going to start on this side. We're going to bolt our rest on the burger hole over here. We're going to just make sure that we have enough room for the rest to lay down. This thing, as you're bolting it on the top of your riser, should be level with your level that's up and down to the bow. So this should be flat and level on this plane, same as your bow is on this plane. So match that level to the level that's on your string. From the riser, so from here to the center where your arrow rest is, you're going to want about 13/16. Bubble here matched with a level bubble here. That's how you know your rest is level to your whole bow. Next, we're going to move this thing over to 13/16, and we're going to level up our arrow. All right, so I just loosened that screw, and you can see with my micro adjust, it moves pretty quick. Now I'm going to use my calipers to measure. I don't know how to show this to you, but pretty much I'm going to measure 13/16 from the riser over. It's going to be difficult to show to you. Someone already went a little too far, so you could come back. And with this thing, I can pretty much micro adjust dead on 13/16 based on my caliper. That's a good starting point. You can't see the hole because there's no sunlight coming through it, but there's a burger hole right here. That's what they call that. You want your arrow on one of these Mathews. There's a couple people say go halfway through the burger hole. I'm comfortable with my other bow going halfway through the burger hole, and that way you can set your knock point. Now you need to cut a little piece of your knock point stuff. This just is what I use to serve my strings. And then you're going to tie yourself a knock point that leaves you good and level on that front arrow level as it pertains to this back level that's on your string right now. So I'm just going to give it not a super tight, but I'm going to pull this down so that this is level with this thing here, and then tie it tight. So once we're there, we're going to just push it up a little bit until we're good and level. Down one or two there. All right, that's it right there. I'm going to tighten this knock point down, and then I'm going to tie a knock point right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it once around the back, once around the front, stack those lines up, and then one more time around the back I'll do a single knot, and then another knot over the top, and then I will cut and melt the strings. Just double check, make sure this is where we want. That's level to that level there. That's a good knock point. Let's tie her. Let's melt her in. I think it's about time we time this rest. Basically with this thing, it's always going to be in the down position, like so. And we're about 3 inches from the end of the axle, which is down here. So you want to put the pad that's supplied, this pad here, so that this string has something to grab onto. You're supposed to put this pad about 3 to 4 inches from the axle. And we're essentially going to tie this onto that. So we're going to pull the string taut So it pulls our rest down, you'll see here. So it's holding the whale tail down at rest. When we draw, it's going to allow this to slack, pull our arrow up, and then when you release, it pulls the string down, or pulls the tail down, and then the arrow goes over the top of it. From what I understand, you're supposed to pull this down tight, and then give it about 1/8 inch of the spring extension, and then you tie it tight. What I'm going to do is tie down here just like I would tie a D loop. Okay, and then any more adjustments. So again, down here I've tied the knot like I tie a D loop, and then this string comes all the way up, and then you do your final adjustment right here. You can pull it tight. Now I'm just making my final adjustment to the rest timing. You can see here that you can pull it down, giving it a little tension there, not a lot. That ought to do her. I think. We won't know until the first time we pull the bow back, will we? All right, there's probably 1,000 videos on how to tie a D loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 inches. I usually take about 4.5 inches of this stuff. Wish I had a roll, but I don't. And then I tie my D loop. I don't really know if it's necessary for me to tell everybody how to tie a D loop, but it's over under. You want to have a knot on either side. We start on this side. Like so. Whole time making sure that we're tight. And then on the other side, you go up, inside, over, and out the other side, just like so. Looks pretty. Oh, I'm getting phone calls, but yeah, D-loop, a little bit of movement, looks good. I've got it on my draw board here to measure the distance and the weight. And the timing. Looks like 56-pound max. Timing is real close. Sitting at, again, the Mathews is always a 1/2 inch longer. It's 28.5 inches, which is exactly what my other bow is. Sitting at a 17-pound holding weight, timing is dead nuts. Okay, so this will be the first time we draw it back. I did add this little thing to hold the arrow. It comes with the hamski. This is going to be a weird bow. It's definitely a lot different than the bows I'm used to. So no sights or anything on it yet. I know it's a harder pull, but we're going to figure it out. Ooh. Ooh. Wants to creep on you. Ooh, it draws nice. Let me get another arrow. It's lighter than my other bow. My other bow sits at 60 pounds. This is maxed out at 57. Let's try it again. Wow. I like it. Pretty dead straight. I mean, I'm aiming right down the middle, so I think my left-right's good. Now it's time to put on the fun stuff, the sight, the stabilizers, and then we can go play. Let's try it out. All right, axis number 1 is going to be that sight, or this level right here is going to have to match the level with the riser, which we're actually really close already. The guy who sold me this probably had it pretty level to begin with. And what I'm seeing is it's damn near dead on. Now, had I need to make some adjustments, I'm going to, I'll just make an adjustment here so you can see it. You would just loosen this, and you can see the whole bubble moves back and forth. And we're just going to keep checking back and forth. Now you can do this again on the bow as long as your bow is level and the riser is straight up and down. And you really doesn't even have to be straight up and down. You just have to match the bubbles so they're equal. So as long as that bubble matches that bubble, then this first axis on your sight bar will match your riser. That's step one. That's axis one. Now we're doing the second axis. So once your first axis is done, the riser to the sight bar, we need to do the scope to the sight bar, which is essentially to the riser. On this Sherlock sight, to do the second axis, you would loosen these two bolts here. Really only need to do one, and it moves quite a bit. Well, I guess you have to do both to get it nice and loose. So once you are just verified that every axis is level, there, one. Put this on the thing level, there's two. Now you're going to want to move this up and down until you get a nice level bubble inside the sight. Sorry for the light in the picture, but there's really no other way to do this. Remember, this bubble up here, make sure that's level, and you're going to level this bubble in here. On the Sherlock sight, there is again another adjustment with two Allen keys, similar to the first and second axis, to move this inward and outward. Once you get the bubble level, going downward, get this back just a little bit. Snug it down. Give it a little bit. There we go. Now, your first, second, and third level axis are ready to go. You can attach this to your bow, double check it all, but typically the risers are built really well. So now all the axes are level. You can see there that's level to that axis right there. And we've already done 1, 2, and 3. Holds. Starting to look like a target bow already. Yes, it appears the back stabilizer bolt is ever so much shorter than this one. That's pretty tight. Kicked you, sorry. Look at that, huh? Back stabilizer mount. That we're gonna have to put on. Once we pull it off all the way, it'll be tightened. This one's on. Tighten this down once we get it off of here. This bow's turning out to be too much trouble. I should sell it. Now the last piece to this puzzle is, make sure we're all lined up here, is the Peep Sight. So we just have to slip, well, we'll give it a little turn here, another little turn so I can get that in here. And then we'll loosen her down. Ooh-wee. Got a nice twist in that string, huh? Forgot to record how to tie a peep sight in, but if you go to Archery Talk's YouTube channel and look up 3 ways to tie a peep, I did the second way. So now I'm just going to draw back and adjust this up and down until I find where I want it. And then I'm going to just wrap a couple of pieces around this peep sight, and then we're going to go shoot it outside. All right, here it is. Mathews TRX, fully built. Okay, now it's all about tuning, figuring out where everything should be. But man, does it feel good. Definitely a lot different than a hunting bow. It tries to drag you forward. Actually, shoot real close. I gotta get this peep the right height so I can tie it in. But, so for under, it sounds like a lot under 1,300 bucks, you can get yourself a pretty high quality target bow. And let's just go look at the groups without even sighting it in yet. So I just threw the sight on, you saw me level it. I'm just getting used to the grip of this bow and how hard it is to hold. But we're already creeping towards that bullseye. So for those of you that watched the whole video, good luck out there. Happy shooting. I hope you you get to build one too. It's really exciting for me to have this now. I'm pretty pumped on it, so look forward to seeing you out there. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, I think that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video.